Slow Homestead. Here's an update on what's going on in the little greenhouse. You can see behind me there are big tomato plants, at least bigger than what it used to be. There's 4 of them, and I have put cages around them, cages that a friend of mine gave me several years ago, and they work great. They're not really tall, but there'll be some kind of support for these tomatoes. So starting right here, actually this is a different support. It's just a little stand to put a pot in. So anyway, I put that one around this tomato plant, and we have, there's a basil plant right there. It's doing very well. There's another basil plant that we transplanted from the little tiny starts, and back there is another one. Yeah, they're getting really tall. I've been watching them to make sure they're not going to go to flower and then to seed. If they start to do that, I will process them right away, pick them and use them. Here's the second tomato plant and the little cage around it. Short cage, I should say. It's not little, it's wide, but it's short. Another basil plant there. And there's one, let's see if I can find it, right back there. And then there's the third tomato plant with its cage. There's a basil plant there, and one back there. And there's the fourth tomato plant. And there's a basil plant there. I am so amazed at how fast these basil plants and the tomato plants have grown, because it's so hot in here. I actually bought some more shade cloth today, and I'm going to be putting that up because I don't think it's getting enough shade in here. It's super hot, even with this shade cloth on, so we're going to add to it. When I harvested the beets that were in this area, I transplanted some bell pepper starts. So there's one there, and there, one in the middle, one back there. It looks like it is, let's see if I can get that beet leaf out of the way. It's doing the best, I think, because it's in the shade of the beet leaves. Same with this one. And the ones that are out here without shade, without very much shade, they're not doing as well, but they are doing okay. Here's the rosemary getting bigger. I need to come out here and examine underneath to see exactly how many plants are here. There's more than one plant in each of these little bunches, so I think it would be good if I separated them, that they would produce better if they were separated on their own and had more growing space just for them individually. This is the purple coneflower. We have been getting rain today, which means that the area where I'm thinking of planting these is going to be ready for me to plant them, transplant them. So that's the plan for that. I transplanted 4 cabbages already, and they're about, I'd say, 20 times the size of these starts. So, which is a lesson for me. You've got to get things in the ground when it's time. Same thing with the larkspur. Yeah, these guys are blooming because they've been in here too long. And I'm anxious to get the thyme out there. I know where I'm going to put all these things. I just need to make sure I've got the ground prepared. You can hear the rain. beating against the greenhouse. We're so excited. We've got almost an inch of rain today in a wonderful cloudburst. It's been so great. Back there's the parsley, and over here's the celery, which I know exactly where I'm going to put this too. I've just got to get it out there. And I moved the broccoli down there so that it was not so hot, because you know heat rises, and so when it was up here on this table, like for all of these, I think it's pretty hot up here. You can probably tell that. So I put it down here, and I'm hoping that it will help them stay alive until I can get them transplanted outside. And as you probably know, broccoli is a brassica, along with the cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, things like that. And so they do better in cooler weather. But since I didn't get them transplanted outside in the spring, then I'm not worried about putting it off, except for the fact that they're just sitting here not growing very well. The reason why I'm not sad about putting it off is because as the temperatures get colder, as we look toward the fall season, it's going to be better for these plants once I do get them outside. Okay. Wish me luck. I hope it all works out. The cabbages that I planted out there that I will show you in just a minute, they're doing great. Fingers crossed. I hope they stay doing great. Here in the backyard, the plants are rejoicing for the rain. So awesome. We have been waiting for several weeks to get a good cloudburst. And the next few days, we're supposed to be actually getting more. So that will be wonderful. I have an area right back here which is called the Big Dreams Garden. And this year it's taken me this long to get this far in the preparation of it. I'm going to move this pile, this windrow of weeds and leaves and pretty good compost makings. Going to move those into a little area behind the swing back there. And there's some bushes. I'm going to put it around the bushes, and hopefully it will act as a compost for them. I'm going to clear this all off, put down some contractor's paper, 2 layers of it, and then make a no-dig garden back here with just 3 growing rows. And this is where I'm planning on putting the broccoli, cauliflower, and whatever else I have left that needs to go in the ground. This is how much rain we got. That wheelbarrow is pretty full of water. Not clear full, but let's see if I can get something to measure that with. Okay, I decided to use my hand. This is the deep end, and it's like 2 inches. This is the shallow end, and it's 1 inch. So, yay, water. Water from heaven. Okay, let's go out to the no-dig, no-till, no-weeds garden. So this is how much rain we got today. Everything is puddled up. As we go along here, I'll tell you what's growing. These first 4 plants are bush cucumbers, and that one is the best one. There were 5. This one didn't make it. Don't know why. And after replanting the crookneck squash, they are coming up. There's 10 10 plants. Look at that one. I'm excited. Okay, I'm just gonna step across here. I do have from the first celery that I planted. I have that one right there. All of these are the bell peppers of various colors, green, yellow, and red. And then over here on the next row, more basil. And they are shooting up. They're doing great. There's a little wet, sad tomato plant. Only sad because it's wet. It'll be happy soon. There's another one. Basil in between. There's another tomato. There's blossoms on it. Another tomato. Basil, tomato, basil, tomato. And 2 basils on the end. And then on this row over here, the very last row that I planted because I just needed more growing space, there are more bush cucumbers. And since I planted them, they have awakened. They're doing great. I'll let you peek at my son's and daughter-in-law's garden right here. Their green beans are getting nice and rained on. There's their onions, carrots and beets. Over here on my raised bed, the carrots that are going to seed are all drooped over from the weight of the rain. I have a little handful of carrots. A lot of them didn't germinate, but I'm going to replant before fall. And then my onions are all around the edges of the raised bed, except for just a portion where I ran out of onions. There's a volunteer potato right there, and a volunteer potato right there. And then more beets here. Plus the beets out in the little greenhouse. I forgot to show you those. Well, I think I showed you part of them. Let's go for a walk. You can see how wet the driveway is. We are so thankful for the beautiful rain we got today. Here's some hollyhocks in my front flower bed. We love hollyhocks here. We've discovered them and how well they grow here. Aren't they pretty? Planted more here. And just in the last few days, I've planted pole beans at the bottom of those poles right there. And also pole beans here that will have the opportunity to climb over this hog panel that I have right here. Hovering over my front steps. The larkspurs are almost done blossoming here. But we've got some more hollyhocks. And also I planted pole beans around those 2 poles. More hollyhocks over here. I've also planted all along the fence giant sunflowers. Fingers crossed, we hope they make it. The plan for those sunflowers is chicken food. Here's some small sunflowers. The wild ones that just come up everywhere in the summer. But they're pretty. So either the cows or the chickens will get these also. One last show and tell. Wow. These are those 4 cabbages that used to be little tiny in the greenhouse. Once I got them out here, look at that. Amazing. Thanks for following me around and letting me show you how things are going here in the greenhouse and in the garden. We're so thankful for the rain. It's been a great blessing, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more in the next few days, or maybe a lot more. Our underground aquifers are in need, so I'm hoping we get that which we need, that we can maintain our life here in this beautiful area that we love. And remember, even when you take it slow, you can accomplish a lot. Thanks for watching.